BK CEO calls this a product, but he's not the one feeding 5.8 million nanograms of industrial plastic to his kids. 5.8 million. You guys, look at the chemistry. Then ask yourself, would you feed this to your kids? The Washington Post just confirmed the cost, 350,000 deaths from heart disease every year linked directly to plastic chemicals. You guys, these are called the phthalates. They're the endocrine disruptors. They don't just pass through you. They actually stay inside your tissue forever. Okay, I'm cooking up some 80-20 for you for a good baseline. Almost done, and I think Frankie likes it. Okay guys, so I have a baseline. That is the 80% lean and 20% fat you saw me cooking in the pan. And we're running a side-by-side comparison to the Golden Arches. McDonald's ranks in the 93rd percentile for these toxins. So it's our baseline for failure. And all you need is a little small sample from McDonald's patty I just showed you. And I think this will do. Let me get some distilled water. A cover slip for the good old McDonald's Golden Arches. So remember, control 80-20 beef. This is from Walmart, you guys. So we're going to see what this looks like. Walmart, 80% lean, 20% fat. This is McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese. McDonald's ranks in the 93rd percentile for these toxins. So it's our baseline for failure. Let's go check it out. So before we go into the lens, I wanted to break the molecular structure down of a phthalate. In public works and industrial manufacturing, we use these as plasticizers to give the rigid polymers their flexibility. So the technical issue is that these molecules are not chemically bonded to the materials. So they are non-covalent, meaning they are essentially free to move around. So when subjected to heat and fat lipids, they migrate. They leave the packaging and saturate the organic tissue of the meat. This is the migration we're looking for under the lens, you guys. So once ingested, they act as endocrine disruptors, interfering with natural hormonal signaling. We have the profile of the chemical. Now let's go see if we can find its signature in the sample. Let's go. So it starts right here with the material. See, these phthalates aren't actually locked into the wrapper. They're just loosely held in that grease-resistant lining, basically waiting for a reason to move. So that reason to move is heat and fat. When a hot patty hits that treated paper, the chemistry changes. Those molecules, they migrate. They literally leave the packaging and soak right into the meat you're about to eat. So once we eat it, the cycle is complete. These aren't just passing through you. They're mimicking your hormones and hijacking your system from the inside out. That's the experiment we're all part of. Forever. So we're starting our comparison at 100 times magnification, and on the left is our control, standard 80-20 ground beef from Walmart. So even at this retail level, the natural architecture of the muscle is clear. You can see the distinct fibers and the protein integrity. So now look at the McDonald's sample on the right, also at 100 times. The texture change is immediate. The fibers aren't really distinct. They're fragmented and pulverized. It looks less like a muscle and more like an industrial slurry. So notice the voids between the fibers. In the Walmart beef on the left, those spaces are clear. But in the McDonald's sample, there's a dull, hazy film starting to fill the gaps. So in my professional world, that haze is a major red flag for chemical migration. If this is what we're seeing at 100 times, we need to go deeper. Let's push the scope to 400 times magnification and identify what's hiding in that haze. So here we are, we're at 400 times magnification, and on the left, looking at the Walmart beef, it's exactly what I expected to see. Those clear round shapes are the natural fat cells, the lipids. There's no interference here. This is what I kind of basically expected from the 80-20. So let's look at the McDonald's on the right. You see that oily rainbow colored sheen sitting on the fibers? That shouldn't be there. A film like that is a massive red flag. What you're seeing isn't seasoning or natural beef fat. It's a chemical signature of phthalates. I'm not just saying there's plastic in the meat like a piece of debris, but I'm saying the actual chemical building blocks of the packaging have migrated directly into the tissue. The heat and fat acted like a vacuum, pulling the plastic components out of the wrapper and locking them into the burger. So most people see lunch. I see a contaminated delivery system. The plastic didn't just touch the food, it became part of it. We've got the visual evidence of the migration. Now I want to pull up the data and show you the actual numbers behind this, including the BK. Oh wait, we almost forgot about the king, you guys. Not so fast. Before we get into the actual data, we need to see if this is just a one-off or if the industry is standard. Do you guys remember the Whopper that I squished in my hands? Well, before I did that, I took a sample and I took a clean cross section right from the center of the tissue. I wanted to see if the flame grilling or different packaging changed the chemistry at all. So let's get this under the lens and see how they stack up, because if we're looking at a global experiment, we need to audit more than just one lab subject. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see what the king has for us. We're starting out at 40 times, and you can see the char marks. That's the flame grilled look they sell you on, but look past that, you guys. The actual meat structure, it's the same story. It's that dense, compressed texture. It doesn't look like muscle, it looks like material. So I'm moving the slide around just to find a clean spot, but it's consistent everywhere. You see how it's kind of a spongy? In the Walmart beef, you had those nice long protein ropes. Here, everything is just pulverized. When you break down meat that much, you're basically just creating a giant sponge for chemicals to soak into. So let's go ahead and bump this up to 100 times. So there we go. So look at the spaces between those fibers. It's not clear, is it? You've got that same cloudy, foggy look feeling in the gaps. If this was a clean sample, those voids would be empty. But here, it looks like there's a localized weather system inside the meat. So check out those fat pockets. They look muted, almost like they've been coated in something. This is what I was talking about with the migration cycle. It doesn't matter if it's flame broiled or flat top grilled. If it's sitting in that treated wrapper, the chemistry is going to do what it does. The packaging is a problem, you guys, and the brand is just the delivery system. So the king isn't looking any better than the arches so far. It's the same footprint, just a little different logo on the bag. So I was going to push the king to 400 times, but honestly, at 100, the evidence is already overwhelming. We're seeing the same fiber degradation in the same cloudy film we saw with the arches. The microscope doesn't lie, but it only tells half the story. It shows us the ghost, but it doesn't tell us the dosage. To understand the scale of the experiment, we have to move past the lens and look at the actual parts per billion. I spent a bunch of time digging through the independent lab reports on these chains. The numbers are out there, and once you see them side by side, it really drives home why that rainbow sheen we saw is such a problem. Let's get into the numbers. They're pretty damning. So let's look at the numbers. On the first line, we've got our Walmart 80/20 control. It came back at less than 2 parts per billion. Essentially, it's a non-detect. That's what we want to see. It's a baseline for a clean product. Then we move to the quarter pounder. Look at the jump. We're sitting at over 44,000 parts per billion for DEHT. This isn't just a trace amount of some accidental cross-contamination. That iridescent machine we saw at 400 times, that's what 44,000 parts per billion looks like. And Burger King isn't far behind, you guys. We're seeing nearly 29,000 parts per billion. In the Whopper patty, even without the 400 times footage, the data confirms exactly what we saw at the lower power. That cloudy film isn't a fluke. It's a consistent chemical presence. When you put it side by side like this, the experiment becomes pretty clear. We're seeing a massive delta between standard retail beef and these fast food subjects. The only major variable here is the industrial packaging and the heat. The numbers don't lie, and they're telling us that the immigration is real. The numbers and the visuals tell the same story. We aren't just looking at beef here, we're looking at a chemical delivery system. When you hit 44,000 parts per billion, the trace amount argument goes right out the window. The heat and the fat and the packaging, they've all merged. The plastic components didn't just touch the food, they became part of the tissue. It's an experiment happening in every bag, every single day. Look, I'm not here to tell you what to eat. I'm just showing you what you are actually swallowing. Because once you see this under the lens, you can't unsee it. Don't forget to subscribe for more truth. Oh, and check out this video. It'll tell you all about if McDonald's fries are real or not.